Welcome to terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx Racing once again. Yes, look at Terry. He's doing the muscle it up. If the sun's out, Terry's guns are out.
Yep.
Sure. Right. So yesterday, kind of an oddball day. We had a bunch of horses that did win, but we just couldn't piece together that one piece of the pick four for ourselves. And Mia was that 6 horse that got to the lead with the we said it had stakes level early speed, and the early speed wasn't really holding up until that race, of course. And then
Right.
you got mixed up in that one third leg of your pick four as well. So hopefully today we can change that. Hopefully last night, Terry. Folks were happy to see Jamie and Sean back together again on Horse Center with jockey Lindsay Hebert. Lindsay Hebert. Always a good show. Jamie and Sean are always prepared to ask great questions, and good to see Grandma Horse Racing and the gang back together. I know we're looking perhaps for another hostess on the alternating weeks with Jamie. So if anybody's interested, please reach out to Sean at our social sites at HRT. No, that's me. At Horse Race, the number 2 day on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know where to find us. You see it all scrolling on the bottom down there below. Terry, did you catch the show?
I did. Yeah, it was a very good show. I liked it a lot. So, and maybe Grandma Horse Racing wants to be one of our, hosts on there.
We asked Grandma Horse Racing, but I think Grandma kind of maybe made a hint that Grandma Horse Racing could join us if she liked, but hasn't accepted yet. We'll see if that's
too shy. Too shy.
And then tonight, of course, we'll be back. This should be a fun show tonight. 2 people that I've met personally when I was down in Florida. Antonio Gallardo and his agent, Paula Bacon. They'll join Jamie and Sean this evening. Great friends of Jamie Martinez and the Martinez family over there in Tampa. And Antonio Gallardo, the dude should be a DJ host. I mean, I don't know if you remember Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
Yes, but Antonio Gallardo is Wolfman Jack reincarnate. When you hear his voice, you'll be like, indeed, that man has a voice for radio. And of course, you can see there that Paula has a face for TV. So they would be a great combination. Of course, they are a great combination on the track, because I think Antonio is coming off the leading jockey at Presque Isle Downs, I think.
All right.
Colonial Downs. There you go. Riding title. Not bad for both of them. Congratulations. Should be a fantastic show. 8 p.m. tonight. To make sure you don't miss it, Terry, what do you do?
You go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and hit the little bell so it notifies you about what's going on. Go down and give us a like and a thumbs up. Let all your friends and neighbors know about it. Go to our social sites at Horse Race Today, the number 2 day. And that's Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah, everywhere on the planet. Of course, while you're here on YouTube, kindly hit that subscribe button. Also, press the button at the bell that notifies you when we go live. Another way you can help the show, doesn't cost anything. We appreciate it. Click the share button, copy that link, and then share that with your friends on your social sites. One last thing. Today, we'll share with you free picks today at Thistle Downs at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description down below. Rolling all the way. The 6 horse looks like it the best bet that should roll all the way in the opener there at 11:50 a.m. Central, 12:50 p.m. Eastern. All right, Terry. Well, today we're going to do what we do now. We got all that out of the way. We're going to do horse racing picks at Parx.
Parx, that's right.
Starting in race number 1.
And it's a 6 furlong race, a $5,000 claiming price of $18,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won the race since March 26th.
Yes, important day, that March 26th, at least in the Ben Salem world of horse racing. Our profile of a 6 furlong winner, its tactical speed does well. A lot of them go wire to wire, about 37%, so a big number. Post positions 1 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. There's a touch of a bonus. We're able to do some simulations in race 1, some scratches in here, Terry, but our simulated odds using speed figures to calculate what some fair odds might look like, try to get some value. The value scratched out in this race. We both probably had it in our picks along with the 4 here. The lower, we're looking for a number that's this one lower than this one. We also do 1,000 simulations using early pace numbers to get a sense of who will be on the lead at the quarter-mile marker. Looks like Captain Chaz is going to have the race to himself early on. And then finally, our own creation here called Speed Zone. C zone, speed zone. Maybe I should call it speed zone, Derry.
Yeah, maybe.
The higher the number, the more likely that the horse is going to find the race to its favor and mirror some of its better performances. With all the scratches, Terry, do we have any value left?
Well, there's number 8's the only speed, and there's no overlays anymore. And 7, 5, and 8 are the best C zone numbers.
Another form of handicapping people enjoy is pace handicapping. We would take a look at the race structure. Looks like the 7 and the 8, they want to be pilots. EPs can pilot or co-pilot. Ps are your co-pilots. They don't want to be on the lead, so the 5 and the 10. PCs are your flight attendants. They can be anywhere on the plane, the most versatile horses in horse racing. C are your closers. NCs haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. And then the first stands for first-time starters. Very balanced race here, Terry. 6 furlongs yesterday in the slop. We saw speed hold up in sprints. We didn't see speed hold up in routes, more off the stalker types. So speed is going to be the way in sprints again today. Tell us what we got going here. We got the 8 horse with a 10-point early pace lead over Manolette. So maybe 2 lengths ahead of everybody else. That's a pretty good number. Better hold on late there because it looks like it gets wobbly at the end. At the end, Manna Hawkin. Wow, I really thought I was going to screw that up when I first looked at it, Terry. Has a 9-point lead, but this is got the exact opposite almost of the Captain Chaz. So they'll probably meet exactly at the finish line in the same place. Looking at total pace, which is a good way to find winners. The 3 horse, Manolette, top score by about 4 points. You got the 3, the 5, and the 6 as your top 3, maybe a trifecta or exacta in there, Terry. What do you think?
I like number 6, Rudy Rod, as my first pick. Drops in class today, has a high speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like number 3, Manolette. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 5, There's a Storm of Brewing, is my third pick. Finished 8th in his last race after going really wide into the stretch and can do better today. Number 8, Captain Chaz. He drops in class today. I'm going to play a $1 daily double. I'm going to play all with the 2 and the 8.
All with 2, 8. Terry, just buying a race. I don't think you have the 10 though, Terry. So I think you don't have all. Do you want to put that one in there?
I do, yeah.
All right, yeah. So let's just change this around to all because you're missing one in there. So let's just get that reflecting of reality. All right. For me, we both like the 6 and the 3 at the get-go on that and the opener. The 6 horse for me, Rudy Rod. Well, my son's name is Rudy, so I have to go ahead and put him in there. Did run a Z pattern in his first start after a layoff, and that's when the early pace number is, say, the 80. Mid-pace number, say, drops to 75 and then gets a second win, and the late pace number goes back up to 80 or something like that. This horse is making its second start after a layoff. Does have a maintenance work between races, so I like that. Sharpening the saw and a little bit of a weight break today. Manolette, the 3 horse. So most consistent performer, at least of the rest of the horses in the race. Last time out showed a little bit of improvement, so maybe you'll see a continued uptick there. Number 8, Captain Chaz should have his way early on the lead, as we saw in the simulation, as well as the pace numbers there. Going to catch a drop in weight here today, as well as a drop in class. So maybe that one gets to the lead and doesn't give it up. Finally, just a thought, the 7 horse, better pace numbers through the first half mile last time out. And again, Craig Milikowski from Timeform US on the Horse Center show told us from their research, if you see improved early pace numbers, next race out, likely to be better than that start. Trifecta 3-6-8 with the 3-6 over the 3-5-6, 7, and 8. And Terry, so everybody knows we have a $100 budget as we're for going to the track with a Benjamin and seeing what we can do with it.
That's right.
All right. If you have any ideas about the races today at Parx or any tracks, you got any questions for Terry and I, you just like what you're seeing, hit us up in the comments section, say hi. Let us know what's on your mind and what you're up to today and what are some of your favorite handicapping angles are. Race number 2, Terry, what are the conditions here?
Mile on 70 yards is a claiming race again. $7,500 claiming price, purse $20,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 26th.
Yeah, we did see a lot of these mile and 70 yarders yesterday. We saw a lot of horses get to the front entire on the wet track, and then those stalkers just roll right on by at the end. Otherwise, prior to that, early speed did well with 31% going gate to wire. You have a little bit of a rail edge, so Sophos might benefit from that. 2 and 3 play a bit under par. 4 and 7 play fair. 8 and out, you get dinged, Terry. So maybe a little bit of inside speed in race number 2, but probably more tactical speed based upon what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, the only inside speed is the 4, but the 8 shows the most speed on the outside. So we just don't know who's going to get there first. The 2 is a nice overlay from 8 to 5 to 6 to 1 of the morning line, and the 10 goes from 3 to 1 to 6 to 1 of the morning line. They all have C-zone numbers except for the 1. They all have decent ones.
You see a nice double up here, a nice exacta on the data with Playman. Yeah, that overlay and that strong C-zone. We've seen that combination hit the board many times. See if the race shape favors any particular horse in here. You see this is a triangle to the right, so a right triangle. You got the 8 and the 4 that can be up front or want the lead. The 2 and the 9 should press her. When you see this kind of race shape, you typically want a horse middle forward. That fit the track bias yesterday. So if we look at the horses that'll be up front early, looks like Shane's Jewel will have a 1-length lead over Playman, the 10 horse. So the 10, a closer with plenty of early speed. We call that a left arrow horse. I'm a fan of those. Means it's early pace for a closer. Should put it in contention early on. Late speed does indeed go to the 2 horse, Hefner and Sophos. So you got a pressure horse and a closer. Looks like the pressure horse should be over in front of the closer. So that should give the 2 a little bit of an advantage over the 1 as the race moves on. And then finally, our total top pace horse is the 8 horse Shane's Jewel, scoring 7 points better than the pressure horse Hefner and about 9 points better than Playman. Big drop off after that, Terry. So once again, maybe the 2, 8, 10, add them up, right? It's all the same thing. Then perhaps you'll find your winner in there.
That's right. And I like that 8 Shane's Jewel. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race. Drops a class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, Jamie Nass, who wins 30% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and has high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez. Number 2, Hefner, is my second choice. Likes Parx racing. He finished in the money 66% of his starts, and he's won 33% of those. The distance won't be a problem as he has finished in the money in 75% of those starts, and he's won 38% of the races. Number 4 is Crafty Don. That's my 3rd pick, finished in the money in 4 out of 6 races at Parx Racing. He won one of those starts, has a high percentage winning trainer. Playman, the one that you were referring to, the 10 finished 2nd versus similar in his last race, and has the highest lap speed rating. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, the 2-8 with the 2-4-5-7 with the 1-2-3-5, and finish up with the 5-7.
I'm in agreement with you on that 8 horse, Terry, Shane's Jewel. The only thing for me about this horse is what I call a light switch horse. Hey, good race, bad race, good race, bad race. So you up and down a little bit. If it's a good race today, you got Paco Lopez riding. You have that 7-point total pace advantage. So I'm expecting the light switch to be on today. Number 10, Playman, up his speed figure in the last 3 races. Again, if you look in the book written by Barry Meadows, The Skeptical Handicapper, it is one of those data sets that does produce winners more than 15% of the time. I call that an alpha angle. I also like the fact that last time out, the horse ran the same fractions at 1 mile and 70 yards as it did at 7 furlongs. So that cutback today, well, there's no cutback today, but those faster fractions should prove to have a better race today. Number 2, Hefner, Hugh Hefner. This one's coming off a peak number, and unfortunately, I think there's a chance that this one can bounce in here. It does have inside tactical speed, so that should work out based upon what we said yesterday. And then finally, the 1 horse, Sophos, did run a Z pattern last race out and does get a weight break, and looks like it could be a big price in here, Terry, but I'm not including it in exactas or trifectas because I'm doing a pick 4 with the 8 and the 10. Was really thinking about soloing up the 8 horse in here, Terry. 2, 5, 7, 2, 8, and then 5, 7, and 13 on the back end for my $18 pick 4. Let's see right here. Good morning, Richard. How are you today? Thanks for joining us again. I know we started a little bit earlier today. Terry has an engagement, so we had to make sure we can accommodate that to get his expertise in here. You don't want just me. All right, race number 3, Terry. Of course, they have something that they're running for, and you're going to tell us what it is.
6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race again with $25,000 claiming price versus $32,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 26th. or which have never won 4 races.
I'd say you got multiple winners in here. That should be a very competitive race in here. Looking at 6.5 furlongs, the type of horse that gets the job done, has early speed. What's new at Parx? 31%, 5 out of 16. If I remember that now from yesterday, going wire to wire. The rail is fair. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. So you might upgrade those horses a little bit. 4 and 7, they get squeezed by the inside horse and the outside because 8 and out play fair. Once again, we're probably looking for a little bit of inside tactical speed in the third race. A couple scratches having an impact, big impact on the early part of the race anyway.
It does, because all the biggest speed's on the outside, that's 7. And then you got a little bit of speed with the 3 and the 2. The 2 has a small overlay from 5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 4 has a small overlay of 2 to 1 to 3 to 1. And the 7 has a really nice overlay, 2 to 1 to 6 to 1 on the morning line. They all have pretty decent C zones except for the 3.
Yeah, looking at this 7, I've seen this too many times to pass it up. Top C zone score, strong C zone score with the 1 out, going to be your pace setter in here most likely. And you got that overlay. We've seen that trifecta hit many times. I don't think you're going to get 6 to 1 with a couple of scratches. A lot of these horses, their odds are going to come down. Looking at the third race, let's see if the 7 does have an edge. Look, the 7 is your E horse in here, Terry. So it wants to be on the front. The 5 horse, maybe can put some heat on him. But looking at the early pace figures, it does have a 4-point advantage. So it should be about 3/4 of a length ahead of everybody else, just that it's normal giddy up and go. 3 horse be right in there. The 5 horse in the mix. You can see all 4 out of the 5 will be forwardly placed. That would give the 4 an in-race advantage if it had the most late speed. But it really doesn't. That belongs to the 2 horse. Legal Deal, the pressure horse, but not too much of an advantage over the 4 horse. But the problem here for the 4 is the 2 will be about 2 lengths in front of it. Looking at the total pace numbers in here, Terry, pretty close race in here for the most part. Maybe the 4 a little bit off there, but the race shape could make up a little bit of the difference for that horse. Very competitive race in race number 3, Terry. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. I actually like the 4 horse Brilliant Chase. She finished 3rd versus Simmer on turf in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 5C Trident is my second pick, drops in class today. Best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, Legal Deal. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 30% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like the 7 as my long shot, Nimble Beast, although I don't think it's going to be a long shot now. He ran 2nd in his last race, receiving the highest last speed rating, and he has early speed running style, which will help his chances.
Yeah, your long shot's my bet in here, Terry, on the top. Again, I think this is a competitive race. This might actually be an all button in the course of your vertical bets. I like the 7 horse Nimble Beast. Did tie for the top last race speed figure. Going to be out on the front. Got a pretty decent off track record. And again, I like this combination of all of our simulations. We've seen that win too many times to pass up. Legal Deal, the top total pace horse we saw in the race. They're also tied for the top last race speed figure. This one tends to make bold middle of the race moves. And in these 6.5 furlongs coming out of that turn, it's when you want your horse getting its best stride. There's a really nice sharpening the saw workout between races. The 5 horse C Trident, taking a pretty good class drop here, Terry. Has 17 furlongs of workouts since that last race, so should be fit, firm, and ready to run. And if you rewind through the past performances, is the only horse in the field in its last 10 races to hit 100 on the speed gun. Hits that race, this race is over. Number 4, Brilliant Chase. You got Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, the dynamic duo of Parx Racetrack. Plenty of black class in this horse, but the only thing I did not like about the Brilliant Chase is that its first up record, when it has a little bit of R&R, not so good. Looks like it usually needs one to find its form. So maybe the next time out for Brilliant Chase, if it does not get the job done for Terry today. I think we have enough time, Terry, to probably get through race number 4. We got, about 3 minutes?
Yeah.
So we can at least get cracking on it. A lot of times the opener is a little bit delayed. So what's happening here?
Mile and 70 yards is another claiming race, $15,000 claiming price, purse $28,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 26th. Claiming races for $12,000 500 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Sounds like the conditions are pretty similar to the last race, Terry, right?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Christopher D'Souza in the last race says he likes the 7 with the 3. So 7-3 exact the box, win place on the 7 horse. In the 4th spot, Terry, again, 1.70 miles. We saw yesterday tactical speed was the way to go. Overall, early speed gets the job done. A little bit of a rail advantage for Girolamo's Attack. 2 and 3 under par, 4 through 7. Play fair, 8 and out. Get dinged a little bit. Terry, let's see what the simulations have to say about race El Número 4, where there are no scratches.
Well, the 3 shows the most speed, although the outside horse has some speed, and the very top horse has a little bit of speed too. The 2 has an overlay of 5-2 to 9-2. The 5 shows from about 5-2 to 4-1, and the 8 has a real large overlay, almost 2-1 to 8-1, and all of them have pretty decent C zones except for the 3.
Yeah, we see again here with the 8 horse, the overlay, decent chance to be on the front, pretty strong C zone score. You have on the 2 horse, again, strong C zone with an overlay as well. So maybe you got yourself an 8-2 exact the box in there for a few bucks, keeping it cheap. Looking at the race pace, here you go, that right triangle again, Terry, with the 8 horse up in the front. Again, in this kind of race, especially after we saw what we saw yesterday, middle of the race, speed with a little bit of ability to close. Really not a whole lot of what I would call speed burners in here. 87 is a pretty decent number up top, but it's not blazing fast. So I'd expect this to be a kind of a tightly packed race when they get started off the front. With a 3 horse Semperfi up on the lead, maybe 3/4 of a length. So you got that left arrow horse again, one that wants to typically close. That's normal early juice, puts it in play. St. Marco has a brilliant late pace there, Terry. 12 points better than the next. Anytime you see a pace number that's in 100, whether it be on the front, the middle, or the back, that's stakes level ability. Obviously, it doesn't have the stakes racing ability in the front. If it did, probably wouldn't be running in this race. And then looking at the total pace, this one has, what's that, an 8-point advantage over everybody else. St. Marco, pretty competitive from there down, Terry.
That's right. Well, I like number 1, Jerome's Attack. He won his last race at Del Mar Park as a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Semper
Right, hold on. We'll go through our picks in a second because they're going off in race number 1 right now. Going back to race number 1, we both like the 6-3 and then a little bit different in the back end. As they come through the opening part there, you do have the 5 horse, Rudy Rod, up on the, well, he's in second place now as the 8 horse. Captain Chaz has indeed taken the lead, but he's being forced a couple of wide. He's not getting that ability to clear and get down to the rail, so it could have a difficult trip out there. You have the 3 on the rail, Manolette, our second place horse. And then to its outside is the 7 horse. Their favorite at 9-5. He is moved outside of the 5. The 5 looks like it wants to back up a little bit right now. The 8 finally did clear, got himself down to the rail. Looks like maybe he might be able to take this field wire to wire. I don't know. You got a horse coming up the rail with plenty of pop right now. Kind of hard to see what number that is. That's the 6 horse, Terry, the one we both like. The question is, can they get by the 8 horse? And it looks to me like he might get by the 8 horse. It's going to be tight down the stretch, though. But the 6 has taken over the race right now. The 5 horse is in third place. And then is he going to sneak up there for second or not? No, it's going to go 6-8-3. 6-8-3. You're alive on your double, Terry, and I should have went 2 by 3. Otherwise, I would have had it in there because I have my top 3 picks there, but I went 3 by 2 by 4. Anyway, that's your opener there. The 6 horse, Terry. Rudy Rod coming through as the winner. We both had him on top. Going back to here in race number 1, we do see that he was the 6. What did it go? 6, 8,
6 and 8. Yeah.
So you had the speed, and then you had the 2 top horses. Well, actually, you had the speed, and then the 3 top horses for the EP for your super effective. All right, good way to get started. Both of us having the winner on top. All right, Mr. Terry, we were going through, let's see, your predictions today for tonight's first race, 3, 6, 5, 8. Second race, 2, 8, 10. 4, third race, 2, 4, 5. Fourth race, 3, 5, 2. Fifth race, 5, 7, 9, 13. Race number 6, 3, 10, race 7, 7. He's the best bet of the day there. Race 8, 2, 5, 9, 2, 5, ninth race, 2, 4, 7, 10, 6. Greetings. There you go, folks. Screenshot that so that you have a sense of what's going on there.
All right.
What were we doing our picks in race 4, right?
Race 4, and I had just started, so I'm going to go finish. It's number 1 is my first choice. He won his last race at Delaware Park, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Semper Fi. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey.
A salute to all of our Marines, baby.
Yeah, that's right. This combo in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 4 starts with a second and a third. And his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The 5 is my third choice, Secret Path. Finished in the money in 9 out of 13 races at Parx Racing. He won 3 of those starts. Celtic Treasure, the 2 is by long shot. Ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, which is Paco Lopez. And I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 5 with the 5, 7 with the 1, 9, 10. Finish up with the 1, 7.
So looking at our picks, Terry, we're 2, 3, 5 on the back end, but 2 completely different horses up top. That's kind of interesting to me. So we're both kind of hoping so we can both go through that. It's the back 3 that get the job done, so we can both move our way through the pick 4. I'm going to take St. Marco. Has that really strong top total pace advantage over everybody in here. Is the lone EP horse, like we talked about here, he's on that left side of the right arrow. That's kind of where I want my horse to be. And then we'll see how that works out with that stakes level late pace. If he's close, they're not going to be able to hold that one off at the end. Number 2, Celtic Treasure. Paco on a horse that's improving. Final 1 mile, 70-yard time last time out. Was faster by more than a second. Number 3, Semper Fi. Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera. Does not look like it on paper, Terry, but when we look at our simulations and we look at the pace, this one's probably your pace setter. And the last 2 times this horse won is when it was closest to the front. It will be there today. Number 5, Secret Path is your simulation favorite in here. Has a very strong C-zone. The resume suggests the horse has some upside in the second race off the break. I'm going to do a pick 4 as well, like you, starting with my top 4 picks. Then going by 3, then 3, and then I'm soloing up the 7 horse. Excuse me, not the 1, the 7 horse to close out that pick 4 for me. So that's the linchpin of the whole ticket. Race number 5 is the almost halfway mark, 5 and 6 halfway mark of the 10 race card. Terry, we go back to 6 furlongs.
It's right. 6 furlongs, claiming price $7,500. Has a purse of $21,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Pretty simple. So simple there, Terry. I was working in the background that you caught me off guard. All right. In race number 5 for the 6 furlong affair, tactical speed, about 37% of the time they go wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 play fair. Outside does a little bit better than inside. So if you got a little bit of outside speed, you probably have a little bit of an advantage, although all of those green numbers out of the gates are inside.
That's right. The 1 shows the most speed, but the 5 has quite a bit of speed also. So we'll have to see what happens. That 7 has an overlay of about 8 to 5 to 5 to 1 in the morning line. They all show good C-zone numbers.
See if there are any race shape advantages. One's pretty balanced. Well, not really. If you look at this race, you have all but 2 horses that want to be middle forward. So in this case, I'd be looking for somebody with a little bit of late legs in there that's probably in the middle of the pack early on. So looking at the early speed, you have the 1 horse, the 4 horse, the 5, a lot of speed in here that should be pretty competitive early on. Although you got a couple of them with a little bit of advantage over everybody else, particularly the 1 horse, Sunset Provision. So if you're looking for those middle horses, that would be any of these through it here, really, Terry. Of those, do any of them have any late speed? Yes, indeed. The 7 horse, Bluey and Quickening. They're not going to be that far off the pace there, Terry. They do have a pretty good advantage over the rest of the field in terms of their late legs. As far as total pace is concerned, we do see once again the 7 and 13 grading out 9 and 10 points better than the next group right in there. And anytime you're 9 to 10 points and better than anybody else in total pace, they have to be considered for your picks, Terry. I think the race shape does set up nicely for the 7 here. Got the late pace, shouldn't be too far off the pace, but you see it differently.
Yeah, I like the 5 Indy Bound, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and can improve while returning to a sprint. The 7 is my second pick, Bluey. Finished second versus similar in his last race. Has the highest last speed rating. Switches to a high percentage winning trainer and to a high percentage winning jockey. Number 9 is my third pick. Finished fourth in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance and his best best dirt speed is fastest than today's.
Can you do the first part you were doing there 5 times real fast?
No. Number 13, Quickening, is my long shot. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey. I think this is very wide open. I have no bet in this race.
I'm going to start off with that 7-horse, Terry. For me, Bluey does have the top last race speed figure by 8 points. Again, I was reading Andy Byer's book on speed. They did some homework, and they found if the horse has a 3-point advantage over the next closest horse, the win rates are really high. ROI is middle of the road. You're not going to, become rich playing those horses because everybody is familiar with that advantage. But the 7-horse in this deep field looks like it could have a good value. We have the 3-2 simulated odds versus 5-1 morning line. Let's hope it stays at 5-1. Trainer Michael Pino, 24% off of the claim. And this horse also has another alpha angle in upping its speed number the last 3 races in a row. So a lot of boxes checked if you read some of those books. Quickening, the 13-horse, is a track dropper and a class dropper. I always like that mix. The only thing I don't like, it's the first time the horse has made it 3 races in a row. So I don't know if it's as healthy as it's been or they're hoping to maybe get rid of the horse. Or cash a check. Indy Bound, the 5-horse, you have Jamie Ness on a class dropper. And this is the way lowest level of its career. It's a great use of the English language. Number 9, Carpe All Day, does have some early pace in here. Going to get a weight break, so that should accentuate its early speed. And the only time this horse managed to visit the winner's circle, Terry, was at this distance. $1 exact, the key box. I'm going to put that 7 up there. I do think it'll be competitive for the W, but if not, maybe come in second with the 5, 9, and 13 as its counterbalances. I want to say a quick thank you to Philip Perkins, Rebecca Pollard Rhodes, along with Cheryl Haynes. Cheryl, nice for you to join us. And Richard De La Torre, all of them giving us the thumbs up on Facebook. If like that wonderfully brilliant quartet, the smartest people on Facebook today, hands down, you like what you're seeing, kindly hit us up with a thumbs up on Facebook, on YouTube, comment section too. It's one of the ways that Google and Facebook measure engagement. The higher our engagement, the better our algorithm rankings go. And then Christopher D'Souza in the comment section helping out the algorithm. Thank you, Christopher. Likes the 1-horse with the win, place, and show, with the 1, 7, and 4 in the exacta and trifecta box. I feel like I read one of those long race conditions right there, Terry. Off to race number 6 we go.
All righty. This race is 7 furlongs, claiming $5,000 claiming price. Purse $18,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since March 26.
All right. So it's first time today we're going to see 7 furlongs. It's kind of difference between a sprint. I know it's considered a sprint, but it's kind of a tweener distance. So sometimes you just don't know what's going to do well there. But at 7 furlongs, tactical speed has been the way at Parx. So you're going to take full length of that backstretch, come around that turn right there. So get yourself in position coming out of that turn. You're probably in a good shape to win. Really strong rail advantage for R. Tenderoni. Overall, the inside 3 have an edge over everybody else. And the closer you are to the rail, the better. The farther you are away, the worse off you are. So again, Terry, in race number 6, a little bit of inside speed can go a long way, and there is plenty of inside speed that could go a long way.
That's right. There's one horse that has it. That's the 3. It's got all the speed in this race other than the 11. And a small overlay for that 1, 5-2 to 3-1. There's a pretty nice overlay on the 10 from even money to 4-1. 2, 9, 5, and 7 show the best C-zone numbers.
What kind of a goofy race you have in here right there? A lot of red and a lot of dark green, but nothing really in between, and only a couple of overlays. I get another feeling that this one might be one where the all button might be your friend today. We do see one in here, though, Terry, that I call the Sesame Street horse. That is the 1-horse, R. Tenderoni. It's the lone EP, so it's a versatile horse. can sit behind the front runners if they go too fast, or if they go too slow, it can say, you know what, the heck with you guys, I'm going to get in charge. Most of these horses want to be middle forward. That could give the 4 or 10, if they have some really great late race ability, a tactical advantage off the pace of this race. So far, the 6 and the 7 haven't shown that they want to be close to the leader at the finish line. Both of them within the last 10 races, not within 5 lengths of the leader. Maybe you can cross them off. If you're looking for the early speed, Terry, Take Charge Erica, like we thought, will be the one along with the 11. Those two should be the ones that go to the front. Of course, the 3 having the advantage being on the inside. If you want some late speed, they're 4 and the 10. There you go. And they do have a pretty aggressive advantage over the rest of the field. Only problem is that 4 horse could be off the screen when the race starts. You might not hear Jessica Paquette call its name until they come out of that turn. But you do have a 10 and 14 point advantage. Our total pace horses, Terry, are the 3 horse, Take Charge Erica and Isabella Smile, both of which grade out about many points above the next 2. So I think the 3 and the 10 have a good shot to produce your winner. And then yet we don't have the 3 or 10 towards the front.
I know. I like the 1, though, our Tenderona. She has finishing the money 100% of the time at Parx Racing. The rail post is winning a 21% clip, and drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 37% of the time that he takes a horse down 2+ classes. Number 9, Carly Hustle, is my second choice. She ran second versus similar in her last 3 races, has a decent jockey in the irons. Number 10, Isabel's Smile, is my third pick, ran second versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed figure, today's distance. And then the 11 is my long shots, Scott Alaria.
Scott Elia, maybe?
Elia, yeah. She drops in class today and switches to high percentage winning jockey and switches to a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet $2 winning place on number 1.
And Christopher D'Souza likes the 3 horse in race number 6 with the 3, 2, 4. So those horses lining up in order. We got some really kind words here from Ivan today. Ivan Castellanos. Ivan, how are you? The 10 horse, Fijo. I don't know what that means, but maybe you can help us out with that, Ivan. And then he says Segunda, number 10, second race, number 10. Okay, there we go. Segundo, number 10, Playman. There you go. Ivan likes that. And then looking from here from John, he says, what I like most about the shows is you guys handicap the horses and not the odds. Thank you. We appreciate that. Race number 6, the 5 horse is a better pick in race number 6 than the 3. We're not to race. Are we on race number 6, right, Terry?
Yeah.
5 horse is a better pick than the 3. Is that what you're saying? You're confusing me, Chris. That's not hard to do. I know that Jay Marco said the brain is the first thing to go, and mine has been long gone. I like the 1 horse, our Tenderoni 2, taking a pretty good drop in class here, Terry. Very strong on the rail at Parx 6 times out, 3 seconds, 3/3, just missed winning. So he's in the money 100% of there. Nice September the 15th workout. Good chance to make that O in Ben Salem go. Take Charge Erica did run the top last race speed figure. And if you examine all the race internals, they all increased last time out. I wanted to put this one first, but I'm a little bit concerned that the horse could bounce coming off that good total top last race speed figure. Scott Ayaya, the 11 horse, is a track dropper. Decent workout on September the 9th, indicating maybe ready to go for this race. Does have a lot of back class. And one of the top jockeys on this Invader, Ruben Silvera, is taking them out. Finally, Isabella Smile does have some early race improvement last time out. Another one I wanted to put a little higher up in the rankings here, especially off of that simulation, but just not probably the right distance. 5 times out, no wins, a couple of seconds, and a third. Maybe one that wants to go shorter or a little bit longer, but seems to be confused, like me, with that tweener distance, right? So he likes the 5 better than the 1 in this race coming up. Boca Royalty in race number 6. So he's telling you, don't listen to a thing Terry and I say. Our Tenderoni. Not bad advice, I'll have to admit at times.
A lot of times it's not.
Yeah. Race number 7 is the beginning of the late pick 4. And I know we'll both have our thoughts on pick 4 selections here, Terry. And of course, the late pick 4 has got to start with the best kind of race, a maiden race.
That's right. It's 6.5 furlongs, the purse is $40,000. It's for registered Pennsylvania maiden, and it's 3-year-olds and upwards.
Yeah, so age can make a difference in this race. So you see a 3-year-old, and then you see maybe a 4-year-old in here somewhere. Those, there you go. There's your 4-year-old viral video. Sometimes that 1 year, although at this time of year, maybe not as big a difference as it would be earlier in the year. The 6.5 furlong profile of a winner favors early speed again. 30% of the time they go wire to wire. The rail is fair, separate ways. Hat tip to Journey. Post positions 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7 they get a bit of a discount. 8 and out go fair, Terry. So a little bit of inside or outside tactical speed in lucky race number 7. You do have some inside and some outside speed.
That's right. There's the inside horse has best speed, the 1. The 7 horse has some speed also. And then if we look at the overlays, the 8 has a really nice overlay. It goes from like, I don't know, 8 to 5 to 10 to 1 on the morning line. And the 9 goes from 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. They all have some C-zone numbers except for the 3.
Yeah, none of them are particularly high, though. So this could be a race where the pace is really challenging for most of the horses in this field. So that sets it up for position and for jockey, whichever one does the best job of handling the race. Again, here you have a pretty balanced race. Once again, we find that Sesame Street horse in though here, Terry, the 8 horse, all by itself in the middle. These 3, if they go too fast, could set up a nice race for it, or the 4 or the 5. 3 and the 9, so far they haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader. So maybe you can cross those off of your past performances as you make your selections. The 2 and the 10 are your first-time starters, so we'll have to pay close attention to their workouts, their trainer stats, to figure out what they might do. As far as early speed, separate ways, social acceptance, well, these 4 are really separate themselves from everybody else. They can get up to the front and run reasonable fractions. The other horses might not be able to run them down, especially since none of them really have a big late race advantage. Nicky DeFox, the early pace type, though, if it can get to the front, although its speed numbers say probably won't, could have that late pace to keep it up there all the way around the track. Finally, looking at total pace, you have 2 horses here, the 8 and the 9, that are well above 5 points and 6 points above the next closest horse, which is 4 points above that one. So I think the 1, 8, and 9, good chance from a total pace perspective to show up at the end.
Yeah, I like the 1 separate ways. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race and has the high percent winning trainer and jockey. Number 7, social acceptance, is my second pick. He tried turf and didn't take well to it. Now he returns to the dirt, where he finished 2nd in his last dirt race he competed in. And he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Respirator, the 8, is my third pick. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. And it has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 40% of the races in the second start of a horse that's with this trainer. And he has a good 4 furlong workout on September 19th. The 9 is my long shot, Cold Shot. He has a high percentage winning
tip to
trainer.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was there the night he died, unfortunately. But
anyway, well, I'm sorry about that. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 25% of the horses that he ships in to run. And I like pick 4 in here, the 1-7 with the 2-7 with the 8-10 and finishing it up with the 7-8-11.
I'm going to start off with the 7 horse, Terry. It's also going to be on my pick 4 ticket there. Social acceptance, finished by a 2nd by just a length. The only other time that the mighty Paco Lopez rode that horse. If Paco can repeat that race, this one's a laugher and the 7 would be a single, but he may not do that. Number 9, Cold Shot, solid race in its debut. I think you're going to see more out of this horse in its second start after it beginning its career. Number 1, Separate Ways, does have some early pace in this race, Terry. Been off since July 11th. The only reason this horse isn't higher up my picks is that when you look here, and this is like sometimes a tell, sometimes it's not a tell. I'd say most of the time it is a tell. When a horse is making its first start off a layoff, the research says that the first off of a layoff, its debut, you want the horse to finish 1st or 2nd. You can see here that the horse didn't finish 1st or 2nd in the debut. Might have had a bad, between check, but still got off to a bad start. 6 by 24. That's why I downgraded it. We'll see if maybe all that trouble in that race is the reason why it got off to a bad one. But might be one of those horses that needs one before it finds its best strides. And then finally, ET's Demon Fire. First-time starter in here, Terry. The June work at Parx was pretty good. And since that's at 19 furlongs of maintenance workouts, would have liked to see the June 19th be closer to a bullet, but still, I think it was a 48 for 4 furlongs. Still good enough for me to consider that a back bullet. 50 Cent, pick 4, 179 with the 1267. I'm going to single up the 8 in race number 9, Terry, with the 1, 4, 7, and 8. Okay, it looks like we have plenty of time to race number 2, Terry.
Okay.
A couple comments in here. Christopher D'Souza, race number, Raphael Satchel. All right, Raphael. Starting in race number 7, his pick 4. He's going to single up the 7. Smart guy. 2, 4 over to 7, 8, 13, over to 6, 7, and 8. Tell you, Terry, we have the smartest horse racing audience out there, especially when they agree with me. Christopher in race number 10, 7, he likes the 10 horse, one that neither one of us have, with the 7, 2 exacta in trifecta box. Good luck with that, Christopher. Race number 8, Terry, 3 races to go. Hopefully we're both alive for the pick 4 when we get there.
Yep, mile 70 yards, allowance race, $25,000 allowance price, purse $32,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or have never won 4 races.
Yeah, so this looks like one of the marquee races of the day. At a mile and 70 yards, again, tactical speed's probably the best way, as we see with the track having some moisture in it. There's a little bit of a rail edge, 2 and 3 under par. 4 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. They are penalized again. So we're maybe a little tactical inside speed there, Terry. Got the 8 horse here scratched out, so 8 and out don't matter. Who's got that inside tactical speed?
The 2 does, and it's quite a bit of speed. There is some other speed in here, but I think the 2 will get to that quarter pole first. The 1 shows a nice overlay of 8 to 5 versus 9 to 2, and the 4, 5, and 1 have the most C-zone numbers, the best.
Yeah. Looks like the 5 horse might be one that you want to put in your exactas trifectas. That strongest C-zone score with a tiny overlay, so you're getting good odds on that one. If it goes off at more than 10 to 1, sometimes, because it is the longest shot on the morning line odds, so I would expect that one maybe to drift even higher. So maybe throw that one in the back of your exactas and trifectas, see if maybe it can fatten the payout for you. As far as the race 8 shape goes, it's just this middle back, Terry, although the PC types, again, they can go anywhere on the track, so it can be a little bit deceptive, this look. If the 7 can get to the lead by itself, it'll grow in confidence. It's going to be tough, though, because that 2 horse might take charge early on. It has a pretty good early pace advantage, about 1 length over everybody else. A lot of times these PC horses don't necessarily want to be on the lead, but they're not afraid to pressure the leader. As far as your late pace is concerned, Loose Goose does have a lot of late pace, but you got plenty of them in here with pretty similar type numbers. So really not that big of advantage. Going to maybe be a little bit too far behind the 7 and 5 to make up all that ground with just a 1 or 2 point advantage, but probably going to come in and threaten late. Your total pace, you do have the 2 and the 7 Classic Union and Laytown grading out slightly better than everybody else, but not a whole lot. Looks like maybe the 4 horse might be one that you can toss out of your tickets. Maybe the 3 horse if you want to shorten it up a little bit. So there you go, Terry. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I like the 7 Laytown. Actually, my pick of the day was scratched earlier, so I went with the 7 as my pick of the day. He's won 2 out of his last 3 races at Parx Racing, finishing 3rd versus similar. His last has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2 is my second choice. Classic Union, he won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. Number 1, Loose Goose is my 3rd pick, has won 2 out of 4 starts at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the horse you said maybe to throw out the 4 is my long shot People Force. He won 3 races this year and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $8 to win on number 7.
I'm going to go fast because we're about to run race 2. Loose Goose, last race a lot better than it looks with much faster fractions. Classic Union, 5-point top last race. Speed figure resume says maybe some regression in race number 2 off the bench. The last time he came off the bench swinging, winning big, he won the next one big too. Laytown, the 7, could be that Lone E if he gets off to a good start. 2 wins in a second. The last 3 times he had the early lead. So confidence grows. And Catch the Smoke. You don't want to catch this smoke. Trap Jocker, probably the most consistent high-end numbers in the field. A couple of nice maintenance workouts between races. I'm going to do try 1, 2, 7 over to 1, 2 over to 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. Race 2 is about ready to kick going. There you go. Again, we had, Ivan says he likes the 10 horse in here as his pick. And right now, the 10 horse is looking like it could be. And what's my second pick? And they're off, Terry, in race number 2. The 4 horse, Crafty Don, the one we thought could be a part of the early pace, is indeed a part of the early pace. Also, not going to be afraid to be up there with that strong C-Zone, although he's getting plenty of pressure to his outside. It looks like by the 8 horse in there, Shane's Jewel, the other one that we thought would show some early speed. The 10 horse may be getting a trip that might not be to its benefit because it is 3 wide. It's going to have to find its way either because that trio has gone about 3 lengths ahead of everybody else through the opening turn. I'm not a fan of horses going 3 wide through turns because it really stretches out the race. I would have been much happier if he had dropped back because there's plenty of a gap between the front runners. And then you have the 2 horse now starting to make its aggressive move up in there. Hefner, he chasing some fast fractions at 23, Terry. I think the 2 horse is going to be there. They ran the opening half in 46 and 4. Those front 3 horses just aren't going to be there when this race is over, Terry. They're going too fast. The 10 horse is trying to find its way through there. The 4 is starting to fade out, Terry. You have the 8 and then the 10 to the outside. I'm hoping the 10 can hang in there for Ivan. The 2 horse is making its move up. If 10 can hold up in there, that might be a little bit of a speed bias today because the 8 horse at 6-5 continues to hold up, man. They ran pretty fast and they're going to hold up in there. That kind of shocks me, Terry. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
That 10 horse is trying to ease its way up there. I think the 2 horse in the end is going to run by him because they all ran too fast, Harry. It has to be. I could be wrong. Yeah, but right now it does look like the 2 horse is going to run by him. Indeed, he has. And that kills the very next, I don't know, that 10 horse is trying to stride back into this race. But it's going to go 2, 10, 1, 8. 2, 10, 1, 8. Once again, I have the superfecta, and the very next horse kills my pick 4. I don't know how that happens all of the time, but it does.
I don't either. But my 2, I had the 2, so I'm good on my pick 4.
Yes, you're alive on the pick 4 with the 2. I just think those front 3 horses, they just went too fast. They ran 46 and they were still almost there at the end.
Yeah.
So if they go 47 or 48, I think they win hands down. But it's up to the jockeys to run good races, right?
It is, yeah, absolutely.
So I hope you did the 4 horses in a superfecta, folks, for 10 cents. We'll find out what that pays, and certainly we wish Terry well through the rest of the races that he can close out that pick 4 today as well. All right, Terry, 2 races to go in. It's just the strangest thing that it's always the next horse for me, Terry. I don't know. I would be rather it wasn't even one I had picked, to be honest with you. Race number 9 with 2 to go, the late double. Maybe we have some thoughts on that, Terry. What's cooking here?
Yeah, 1 mile event. It's an optional claiming, $35,000 claiming price. It's purse $52,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, or which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $35,000.
So at 1 mile, what you're looking for, early speed, 36% of the time going wire to wire, inside out bias, with inside 3 horses above par, everything else kind of falling down. One quick note off the first 2 races. I think we're kind of seeing a repeat of yesterday a little bit, where on the sprints, the speed will hold, and in the routes, the speed probably will not hold, especially if they go out in 46. There's no chance that's going to hang on. So maybe as you're doing your handicapping through the rest of the Parx card, maybe look at your second or third choices and see if any of them are indeed the type of horses that come from middle of the pack forward, especially if the horses at the top of your ticket have early speed. All right, Terry, race number 9 is a route. So we're probably looking for tactical speed in that route race, but who's got them? Well, there's plenty of them that have some of it, but one has more than the other.
Yeah, the 12 shows the most speed, although the let's see, the 7 here has some, and also that inside horse, the 2. There's some other speed in there also, so you just never know who's going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 has the best C-Zone number, although it's scratched now, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
I'm sorry, the 7.
Right?
7 has the best C-Zone. It's 5-2 versus 6-1.
And you mean an overlay? All right, that's
overlay.
Uh-huh.
I had said C-Zone. No, it's an overlay.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have decent C-Zone numbers, except for the 3, which is scratched, so that doesn't matter, and the 10.
Yeah, so you got a couple higher ones in here with the 2 and the 8. That they should be the most comfortable with the way this race plays out. In race number 9, the way it should play out, got a couple of horses in here, the 4 and the 8. Got a bunch of versatile horses in here. the 5. So I'm going to say most of these horses are probably going to be middle forward. If the 5 had a chance to, with a really big late pace advantage over everybody else, could be one that would be dangerous. The 4 and the 8 as your other Sesame Street horses. If there's any reasons you want to like them, you might want to upgrade that a little bit because of their being unlike the others. The 10 and 12 out on the front, if they have a lot of early speed, they could maybe hang on. Looking at the early speed, however, they don't have it, so they look more like false early speed to me. Maybe they tail off a little bit as the race goes on, as Alivar has the most early speed. Again, though, like the simulation showed, any one of these horses could probably get to the lead considering a misstep, a lot of inside speed, so maybe the outside horses struggle to get to the front. As far as your late speed is concerned, Dreaming of Jerry, Roan Mountain, Splice the Main Membrane, with these two standing out, the 9 and the 5. Total pace shows a pretty competitive race in here, Terry. Again, you have all but 3 within 7 points of one another. A misstep, a bad trip can make the difference between being the 8 and the 9. What do you have happening?
I like the 8, Helium. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and has got a good workout on September 14th. Number 10 is my second choice, ran second in his last race. His early speed running style helps the chances, so the shorter distance can help. Number 9, Dreaming of Jerry, is my third pick, finished third versus in his last race, and has a best dirt speed among today's starters. The 6, my long shot, is got a high percentage rating trainer and a good 4 furlong workout, and I'm going to bet $2 win in place on number 8.
2 to win on number 8. Just a little tidying up. The 2 horse Hefner paid $5.40 to win. Playman, the 10 horse, $5, almost as much to place as the 2 horse to win. Sophos, the 1 horse, did come in third at a price. And then that 8 horse, Shane's Jewel, finished 4th in there. So the 210 exacta, $12.80 for $1. Trifecta, 210 and 1, $40.35 for 50 cents. Not bad. The $1 white, the 10-cent superfecta with the 210, 1 and 8, $19.20. I think I'm going to just start doing 10-cent superfectas all day, Terry.
What's the double play? What did the double play?
The early double paid for $1, $13.
All right.
You got that.
Yeah, I got $1 then.
Yeah, you made $1 back. Hey, profit is a profit. ROI is ROI. Right?
That's
Companies, if a company invested 12 and they made 1, so they would have about a 7% ROI profit margin.
Yep.
Most companies would be all right with that. I mean, it's kind of on the low end, but profit is profit.
That's right. So
in this race, Terry, you went through what you went through your picks already, or no?
I did. Yes. So it's your turn.
My turn. Yeah, I get myself distracted. It's that attention deficit. I have one thing on my mind. I better get to it. Helium did run at Parx last time out for the first time. Paco Lopez was on that horse, and it won. He's riding for Jamie Ness. 100% of the time that duo is finished in the money in 6 races. They'll make it 7 out of 7 today. And I think to tell here is that Paco had been riding the 7 horse, Splice the Main Brace, but instead he's going to ride the 8 horse today for Jamie Ness. The 10 horse, Simovic, did hold its speed longer last time out. Only problem for this one is he likes second place at Parx, particularly 7 races, 1 win in 5 seconds. Probably going to have the lead, and then at the wire get just nosed out. Number 9, Dreaming of Jerry, only horse in the race that has hit 100 on the speed gun in its last 10 races. If he can rewind to that one, this one won't be close. And then finally, the 2 horse, Eloquist. Very consistent performer, very dangerous on the lead, and got a shot to be up there today, Terry. I'm just going to do a $4 double, ice cold, a la Charming Chuck's way of 8 and 8, 88. Got a little bit of Michael Irvin in there. Final race of the day. Let's see here. Who won race number 2? El Sagano won race number 2. Race number 2 was won by the 2. And then I think it went 2, and then 10, and then 1, and then 8 in race number 2. So, 2-1-10-8. That's about it for me on Spanish. Finally, race number 10, Terry, the last race of the card before you check up out of here. And tomorrow, Charles and I return for Churchill Downs. And then on Thursday, of course, Charles and I will do Belmont at the Big A. Again, don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. On Horse Center, our Swiss Army Sean and Forever Wild Jamie Martinez getting together with Paula Bacon and Antonio Gallardo, fresh off storming Virginia for Colonial Downs. Should be a fantastic show. Terry, race number 10 should be a fantastic show for horse players too. What are they running for?
7 furlongs, a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, a purse of $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since March 26th.
Now that date coming into effect a couple times today. 7 furlongs, just okay, rewind. You have tactical speed, 30% going wire to wire. There's a strong rail for strong breeze. Inside 3 edge, inside out overall, Terry. The closer you are to the rail, the better off you're going to be. So inside speed in the final race of the day, Terry. A couple of scratches, but not really impacting the early pace all that much.
Well, the inside speed is the one, strong breeze. It shows pretty good speed, but that 3 and 4 may have something to say about it getting to the quarter pole first. The 8 has a nice overlay, way under even money, like 1 to 2.
Yeah,
versus,
like a gimme in there.
That's right, versus 7 to 2. And then as far as the C-zone goes, the 7, 1, and 8 and 4 show the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, the one horse with that early speed, not going to be afraid, not going to be timid on the lead, Terry. Could be one that upsets at a price, maybe. You may want to think about that. Oh, and you also see it's the lone E in there, Terry. So if he does get to the lead, its confidence will grow. Question is, and then you got the 8 in there as that lone PC. So this is a race that's middle back. If you can get to the front in this one, you do have a pretty good shot to score the W in here. And looking at that early speed, that one horse is the lone E, does have a 4-point advantage over everybody else. He's going to be where he wants to be. We saw on the C-zone that should be happy to be in the front. As far as late legs are concerned, if that one can't hold on, Enraged will be charging down the stretch, 7 points better than the next closest horse. So the race shape sets up nicely for this one too. Probably sits behind these 3 up front, going to use those late legs. Could be hard to hold him off if he's within a length. Does also have the top total pace in here, Terry, by 11 points. On paper, the race shape, as far as the simulated odds go, total pace, this looks like it's the 8 horses race to win.
It sure does. I like that 8 Enraged. He has finished in the money in 9 out of his last 10 races at Park Racing. He won 3 of those starts. Has the highest last race speed rating. Jump Shot, the 7 drops in class today, has a high speed figure at today's distance and a high percentage winning jockey. Healy's Hope, the number 5, finished 3rd versus Tupper in his last race. And then number 6, Magnetron. He finished 3rd versus Simmer in his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey. And I'm going to bet the last $2 to win on number 8.
Last $2, just reaching in that pocket, burning the hole in that pocket. You just can't leave it in there in case you're thirsty for a drink. And neither can I. I have that 8 horse in there too on top, and Rage does have that big total pace advantage. The lone PC in the race, that Sesame Street horse, gonna catch a weight break, which should be helpful. And it's going to come off the bench fresh, and he's run well in that scenario before. Strong Breeze, there you go. That long shot in there, Terry. I hope he goes off at 99 to 1. Does have that top early pace as that lone E. Does have the second best C-zone. Gonna catch that rail that wins at a high percentage with that advantage, and then making the second start after layoff. Room for improvement. Let's come home at 100 to 1. Number 7, Jump Shot. Lowest level in its top last 10 races in here, Terry. It does have the best scores as far as the wet tracks are concerned. Then my last pick of the day, number 4, another long shot in here, Terry. Should be forwardly placed with this group. It's an all or nothing. My favorite type of horse to bet on, Terry. 5 times at the distance. Won 3 of them off the board in the others. And in the money 6 of 9 times on a wet track. And I don't see any reason to believe that by the time they get to this race, the track won't be wet. 50-cent trifecta. I'm really hoping that one horse comes home at 100 to 1, followed by the 8 or the 1 horse. I'll take either one in second. And then the 1, 4, 5, 7, and 8 to close out that, Terry. All right.
Yeah, Christopher D'Souza likes a 9 in the 9th race, the 4, and he wants to exact and try box 427. In the 10th race, he likes the 6, win, place, and show. Try box and exacta, 6, 1, and 4. I'm assuming that he likes.
Well, he's asking what happened in race number 2. I think.
Oh, okay. You already told him. All right.
Yes, indeed. So again, tomorrow, Charles and I will be back for Churchill Downs. The opening post time for that one is 12:45 p.m. Eastern. So expect Charles and I to come up around 12:30, 12:35, about 10 minutes before post. Again, Thursday, Charles and I will go after Belmont at Aqueduct. We'll probably do Foreign Friday with Tom again, so keep an eye out for that. Should be some big races out there. I don't know. Tom will let me know when and where we're going to do it. We'll let you know on all of our social sites. Again, Terry, where can people follow us?
On YouTube, and you can subscribe to YouTube, hit that little bell, and that'll let you know when all of our programs are coming. Give us a thumbs up and likes on there, and also go down and click the link to it and share that with your friends. Copy it and send it to them. And you can go to our social site at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and find us there. We're on all kinds. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and one other one, I think. Facebook. I think I said that already. All righty.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, all of these, right?
TikTok's the one I didn't say.
So again, real quick, we mentioned in the description down below, there is free picks today for Guaranteed Tip Sheet. We did say rolling all the way. Number 6 would be a best bet of the day. And guess what, Terry? What did number 6 do? Number 6 brought home the bacon. He was your winner. Yes, indeed. He paid $3.40. Let's see what happened in race number 2. The 4-horse Itasca. I used to work in Itasca right there. It looks like they're racing right now. So there's not any kind of payouts yet for that. So again, down there below, there is a link in the description. Kindly use that. We appreciate that. You talked about Christopher D'Souza's race 10 picks. Terry, any final thoughts from you before you get up and out of here and join us again next Monday?
No, just have a good day, and everybody be careful, and give your loved ones a kiss and a hug and tell them how you feel about them. So, because you never know about what's going to happen.
Yes, we hope only positive things happen, of course, folks,
and
that throughout the rest of this day, until you join us again tomorrow, you join Sean and Jamie again, Paula Bacon, Antonio Gallardo. Like I said, you got to check out the show just to hear Antonio Gallardo, because the guy should be on radio along with riding horses. But between the time we get back together again and now, we certainly hope, no matter what you're doing, it's all blessed with God's favor, and every single thing that you do, Terry, and all of us who joined us today in this great community ends up in the
winner's circle.
Again, look forward to joining again tomorrow. Have a great, terrific Terry Tuesday. Wrong button.